I think I got it. Yeah. Yes, USB's plugged in. Howdy, Gridomorphics. Hey, Ian Jones. My happy victims. Hello, Jerry Martin. And the Mad Hatter. Text. Copy. Nice. The Amazon shopper panel. Oh, you got into that program. Now that's cool. That's exceptionally cool. Just remember, if you're not running, if you don't have a self-employed business where you can legitimately write this stuff off because you're reviewing it, you got to pay taxes on the ETV of the stuff you get. So keep that in mind. A lot of people have been bitten pretty bad by that because it's very easy to click gimme, 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 gimme. They must be trying to get a lot more people into it. Now again, talk to your CPA, whoever does your taxes, and make sure. But in theory, mine said it was fine. If you run a legitimate review business that you make a profit from, such as I run affiliate links that I make a profit from, anything you get to wash, it's a write-off. Now, of course, if you sell anything, then you have to count that as income. But yeah, it's a nice program. It's a really nice program. And every now and then, laser engravers and 3D printers show up, and filament shows up relatively regularly, and resin as well. Exactly. Yeah, all the time resin pops up and filament pops up. Now that stuff, the taxes don't matter because whatever taxes you pay are going to be cheaper than what it would cost you to buy it. So, and of course, if you have a legit 3D printing business, it's a write-off. You can literally wash it. Usually, they I don't have access to it anymore, so I can't actually look and tell you. But what was it? Industrial and scientific. There used to be a category called industrial and scientific, and where you would find things like scales and screw kits and nuts and bolts and stuff like that. But that's usually where the resin and the 3D printing stuff and filament would show up. There you go. So you just hit that category and keep checking that category, and keep an eye out for filament and keep an eye out for resin. I was gonna get you guys a deal for they have a Creality hot end with thermistor, sock, and 5 nozzles. This little booger right there. They had a coupon for half off, $7. No, I'm not in it anymore. They booted me out with no explanation. I guess they're just cycling people through the program because, no explanation whatsoever. Might be a good thing though. I was kind of getting carried away. It was getting nuts. I'm still cleaning up. I mean, all this is from that program. it is. I guess I don't have the right personality for that because I ordered everything. Well, because I'm a reviewer professionally, so I could write everything off, so I don't have to worry about the tax part. And yeah, I mean, oh my god. I mean, literally everything. I mean, this laptop here I got from them. This cup I got from them. This this electric kettle I got from them, and all the lights around my house and the faucets in my house I got from them. Batteries and everything. You name it. Jesus. I mean, you are going to get to the point where you will never order from Amazon ever again. Ever. You will never order from Amazon if you can help it, because inevitably you'll order something. Oh yeah, lots of crap. Inevitably you'll order something and a week later it'll be on Vine. And it's like, God damn it, I just paid for that. You'll learn where things are located, where things will show up. For example, like trash bags. You'll never order trash bags again. If you have a pet, cat and dog food pops up regularly, and that stuff is 0 ETV, so no taxes. You just order it immediately. If you see cat or dog food, and if you have a cat or dog, just order it, because that stuff disappears quick. A year and a half. And trash bags are usually 0 ETV. Just order them. Any kind of shampoo, any kind of what do you call it? Body care products. Shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, deodorant, stuff like that. Don't hesitate. Just order, because it's usually 0 ETV and it disappears quick because people snatch it up quick. And food items are 0 ETV. They disappear quick. But do remember, you're limited to 8 picks per day. And yeah, it was extraordinarily addictive. It allowed me to live well above my means, because I can, light bulbs, ceiling fans. I mean, matter of fact, last week somebody told me there was a fridge freezer up there, full size fridge freezer. It's like, hello. The 12-volt freezers that I have, that I take to, like, when we do the cleanup, I got them off of there. These things here. I was gonna let you guys know about this one. This one's got a 50% off coupon. $250 for one of these is actually a really good deal. But these things will run off of batteries. So you can run that off of this, and this here will run that there for like 8 hours. Yeah, that's a ghost. You'll find the system sometimes glitches, and something that is actually not available anymore will still be displayed. And it has nothing to do with you being in the right area. That's just the error code it's displaying. So that item is not available. When you see not in the right area to order, that doesn't mean you're not in the right area to order. It just means that's a ghost that's already been fulfilled. It's like if I'm a seller and I put this up on Vine and I say, okay, Amazon, you can give away 10 of these. Well, what'll happen is you'll hit the 10, which will take it off Vine, because I said you can have 10, and then for some reason sometimes it'll glitch and it'll still be there. And then the system just throws a random error. In this case, it's throwing it outside of your order area. Oh man, 17 cubic foot freezer. If I could have, I'd have snatched that up like that. But and yeah, it's amazing. The things that pop up, it's just it's you'll stop. Yeah, don't even bother. It's not going to work. I mean this phone. I got two of these phones off of there, and I also got that nice Sony phone. I got that off there too. Keyboards and microphones and power supplies. This camera I got off there. This power supply I got off there. This power strip I got off there. All my USB cables I got off there. I mean, just everything. Inevitably something you want will pop up. And now there are certain things that you can cancel an order if you don't want it, although try not to do that too much. Nobody has confirmed it's bad, but we suspect it might be, but we don't know. Fact is, it lets you, so it's weird. Certain things like televisions, like this beautiful $4,000 screen here, I got that off that program. I could never afford this. The taxes on this are $800. It's just the taxes. I couldn't afford that. Yeah, this Sony Bravia A90J television. You know, go look that up. And I got an A80J for my sister. So she has a nice 65-inch Sony OLED in her room. But I mean, everything. I mean, I love Corel plates. My Spider-Man Corel plates, I got them from there. This Acer laptop, a nice one, you know, I got that from there. But things like televisions, food, laptops, you know, high-end products, they disappear like that. I mean, seriously, there are a lot of the people in these programs are either disabled or retired, so they literally. Well, when I filled out my Schedule C, I listed the 1099 from Amazon as income, and then I listed my total ETV as a deduction for what did she call it? She called it it's basically product. So if you're a business and you buy product, that's a tax deduction because you're buying the product for your business. And because my business is reviewer and because I legitimately earn an income from that, it's my only income, that's a legitimate business expense. Now, if you don't have a legitimate business that uses those products for your business, be careful, because if you get audited, you know, that's not going to fly. But, I mean, I don't have any other job. This is my job. So that's a legitimate business, so I could write off everything I got from that program. But I got lucky. I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning. I went to the bathroom, and I decided to bring up, you know, the program on my phone, and I saw Sony and OLED and didn't even read the rest. I just clicked order. Order, send it. And just, you know, the 2 clicks, and I got it. And then I went back and looked at what did I just get that was worth $4,000. And I was like, oh my God, a 65-inch OLED, hell yes. But pure luck. In the time it took me to load up the Vine group on Facebook and tell everybody else about it, it was already gone. So there's a group on Facebook called Vine Uncensored. It's a private group, so you have to be in the program to get into the group. They'll ask you, you know, are you in the program? They might ask you to like show your page that shows you're in Vine because they're trying to keep the trolls out. And another thing you're going to learn, depending on what your family is like, do not tell anybody in your family you have access to this program outside of your immediate household. Okay? Do not advertise this. Don't tell neighbors, don't tell friends, nothing. Because, well, most people are decent people, but some people, well, they get jealous. I've never had this problem, thankfully. But a few people in the program have had this problem where neighbors and friends have started causing them serious problems because they want some of the free stuff. And then they get vindictive when they're told no. So don't advertise it. Don't spread the word. If someone says, what, are you a reviewer or something? What I do is I say, yes, I'm a reviewer. He's like, how do I get in? I was like, you don't. They come to you, and they choose what they send me. I can't pick what they send me, and that usually makes them go away now that they realize there's nothing they can do to leverage you. Because, well, I live rural, so I don't get postal delivery to the house, but I'm talking you're going to get stacks of boxes delivered to your house. People are going to think you're some weirdo hoarder because you're going to get a lot of packages. Because, oh, they started to address that a little bit, but typically everything you order is going to come separate. So if you order 15 items this week, you're going to get 15 boxes. Now, towards the end there, they were starting to consolidate a little bit. You again, for anybody else interested, this is a review program, an official review program from Amazon. You cannot get into it. You cannot apply for it. That's not how it works. You just have to be active on Amazon, and it's pure RNG. You just get invited or you don't. And it is available in other countries like the UK and stuff like that. I believe only the US counts it as income. So in other countries, you can just order whatever you want. Make sure you check your tax situation, of course. But yeah, it's. I mean, I refurbished this house with stuff from that program. We're talking, you know, my Ninja pressure pot and air fryer from the program, my big Ninja air fryer from the program, my Instapot from the program, toasters that I have from the program, rice cookers from the program. See the portable freezers from the program, the ceiling fans from the program, all the lights in the house from the program. You're gonna get fire alarms for your entire house, the nice ones, you know, the nice quality fire alarms, you know, with the 10-year battery that does smoke and carbon monoxide, and they're networked. So if one goes off, it'll connect to the rest of them and set them off. You get those from here. They show up regularly. If you can write it off on your taxes, it's not a problem. But the big problem you're going to have with this program is upgrade-itis. Okay, you get a nice gadget, and then 6 months later they come out with a new version. What do? Well, you get it because it's free. If it's not available in Norway, then no, you wouldn't get it. So for example, when my friend came from Denver, David, I said, "Do you have an air fryer?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Do you want one?" He's like, "Yeah, I might want one." I was like, "Good, you're not leaving without one." And I forced him to take one with him because I had 7 goddamn air fryers. People say, "Why do you need 7 air fryers?" I don't. I need 1 air fryer. But they kept coming out with new ones that were nicer. So I would get the new nicer one to replace my old not nice one. Now, that's not something you normally do, but when it's free, you do it. I have 4 water buffaloes because they kept coming out with nicer models, so I would pick the nicer model. It's crazy. Oh my god. I mean, even my guy, I think I even got my hairbrush off of that program. I mean, everything. You just name it. All my power tools that I have. You know, these guys here. You know, I got that off the program. I got my right angle Craftsman off the program. DeWalt and Milwaukee batteries. I got that off the program. I mean, just so I mean, all these battery boxes that I have. I got all these battery boxes off the program. I mean, it's just incredible. Yes, I did. My favorite. There's 2 that are my favorite. Hang on. Let me bring it up. I'll show you my 2 favorites. These are the ones that I use. One of these I use daily, and the other one I just love having. No, wait a minute. I can do a search for Ninja. This one and this one. Oh, sometimes they have grills too. I missed that nice Traeger. Oh, they had that beautiful Traeger pellet stove, like $1,100 grill, and I missed it. I was so annoyed. This one here, this is my favorite, my absolute favorite. Looks like it's not available anymore. No way. Is that the same thing? I don't know if it's the same thing or not. OL501. Oh, newer model. Okay, 601. Yeah, this is it. So this is a slightly newer model, and you can get a an open box one for 150. Yeah, if you want an air fryer, that's an instant buy for 150 bucks. Here is the link. So this is the air fryer. I use this almost every single day. It is a you can steam and crisp with it. You can use it as a pressure pot, so like an instant pot, and you can use it as an air fryer. And the only downside to this one is you can't shake and jiggle. So the normal air fryers with the handle and you pull the drawer out, those are nice because like when you're doing fries or nuggets or something like that, you could pull the air fryer out and go and shake it up and stick it back in. This one you can't because of the way it works. Because it works also as a pressure pot. This foot here, that foot there is actually necessary because this lid is incredibly heavy. And when this whole entire lid opens up, this thing will tip right over if it didn't have that foot right there. That's why that foot is there. This thing is built like a freaking tank. You drop this on somebody, they're dead. um, but I haven't used it as a pressure pot yet, but I've used the steam crisp and I've used the air fry options. And I use this thing almost every single day. It is just so freaking useful and so freaking handy. I absolutely love this machine. The other machine that I love, I actually bought one myself used, and then of course the program released it. That's okay. Do a search for Ninja Foodie XL, and then this one here is the other one that I love. I have the old version and the new version because I bought the old version myself used on eBay. And then, of course, the program offered me the new version. So, of course, I got the new version. um, this is amazing. You could do like 6 pieces of toast in here. You could do a whole tray of fries. You can cook steaks and stuff in here. It actually has a cast iron tray that you put inside there. And it turns on a broil function that gets the tray. You can see it inside here, this tray inside here. It gets the tray piping hot. So you actually get the charring and the the proper sizzling when you put that kind of food in there. Amazing. Absolutely amazing machine. And it's fast as hell too. I don't know how they heat it up so fast. It must draw an immense amount of power. This will cook, I think, a 13-inch pizza. I have an oyster French door oven that I use for pizzas because it'll hold almost a 15-inch pizza. I got it for like 40 bucks off Craigslist or Marketplace. But yeah, these two Ninjas are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I also have a Philips air fryer. Amazing. It works very well. And the nice thing about the name brand stuff, it doesn't fail. Now, another thing that's really, really good is let's see, Instant Pod. There it is. I think that's it. Is that the same one? Yeah, I think that is the right one. Oh, this is a new one. Does ground coffee too. Sweet. But I have the dual pod version of this. Because this is the particular unit you're gonna want being in that program. So here is the link to that. It's not super expensive, but this one doesn't fail. It does. I burn through K-cup machines like crazy. This one a year going and it's been fine. This does pop up on the program every now and then. But this machine is nice. Well, I no longer need it for this function because I'm not in the program anymore. But if you're in the program like Jerry is, you're gonna want this machine because this machine does K-cups and Nespresso pods. Because K-cups and Nespresso pods pop up on the program regularly. And now you'll have the machine to use them. Um, so this does both. It's got two inserts, one for Nespresso pods and one for K cups. And this newer model will do ground coffee as well, which is pretty cool. It's got a tank on the back that holds 60 ounces of water, so you don't have to be constantly filling it like a regular unit. I actually bought 12-ounce glass jars, and I keep them filled up underneath the machine. So the old machines, because you had to put in the exact amount of water you were going to use. So I would just take a 12-ounce jar, dump it, put the K cup in. Now I don't have to. I just fill that up twice a week. And unless I'm doing 24-ounce cups, then I burn through it pretty quick. But that is an incredible, and so far that machine has not let me down, has not failed. I've run over 300 cups through it, and it has not slowed down at all. Unlike the cheaper machines, which are wonderful, they work great, but they just die so fast. Like I can show you. So these are my favorite coffees. They're 33 cents a pop. So they're when you buy them in the 100 count, they're affordable. Let's see, copy. Southern Pecan and Vermont Maple are my favorites. So they have a multi-pack you can get. So here's an assorted variety pack. You get 100 K cups for $32, and or $33, unless you subscribe and save. But this is good because you could try them all. So you got the blueberry vanilla, which is pretty good. The butter toffee Michelle likes. The caramel's okay. It's good. It's just not blowing me away. The cinnamon is really good. French vanilla is Hazelnut's Southern Pecan is great. Mint mocha she didn't like. Vermont maple is great. And chocolate hazelnut cream she liked as well. So what you do is you get this assorted pack and see which ones you like. And then if there's particular ones that you like the most, you can then order specifically those flavors. So I've broken it down to Vermont Maple and Southern Pecan. Those are the ones that I like. So now I could buy just 100 of those. And these are amazing, delicious flavor. And so for example, let me find it. This is all stuff that I got from the program, all free. I got this coffee warmer free. These skull cups for free. All this titanium camping stuff. Hundreds of dollars in titanium camping gear. Got it all for nothing. It was very addictive. Like this machine here, these cheap machines that you can get. My sister loves the little kitty cat mug. I'm trying to find that other coffee machine. I guess I have a lot of coffee stuff in here clogging up the works. Insulated thermos bottles, you'll find those. Here we go. So I got this Chulux machine. They're $40. There's a $10 coupon. Hey, Pygar. I got a pink one for Michelle, and I got an orange one for me. I love the fact that I can get an orange one. Now they only have white and pink. Oh, here you go. Hang on. You'll love this. It might not be in my order list. Yeah, it's not in my order list because it was an AFA item, so it doesn't show up in my Amazon orders. I believe it was the 5400. No, 3200. It was a 32 or 3400 series. But basically this. Yeah, I have that. At the time, the model I have was $700. It was $699. I got that off the program. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a nice machine. I buy the whole beans. You stick the beans in the top here, and then you pick what you want on the screen, and it makes it. But yeah, you'll find stuff like this on there. It's It's truly amazing. This used to be 30. That's a lot of money. I wouldn't pay that for that. But these machines, you know, they last about 6 months and they die. You know, when we got the this machine, the one of them, the pump failed, so it doesn't pump water anymore. The other one, the thermostat failed. So what happens is it boils the water in the cavity, and when it detects that the water is boiling, it stops, and then it turns on again, verifies it's boiling, and then it starts pumping. Well, mine stopped detecting that it was pumping or that it was boiling. So it would just boil and boil and boil and boil until water was coming out the top and foaming out of everywhere because it kept violently boiling more and more and more because the heater wasn't turning off. So these machines have random failures. While that the instant pot coffee machine, not one hiccup the entire time I've used it. Very nice machine. I'll never go back. If that machine dies in a couple of years, I'll find another one. But because you're in the program, it's advantageous. Heat bed chat, like Fireside chat. You know how you have a Fireside chat? You just sit by the fire and just chat about random stuff. Well, we're a 3D printing channel, so heat bed chat. The heat beds are fire. Basically, I had no focus for this episode, so we're just going wherever. Anywhere except politics. We're going to stay away from politics. Unless we're talking about how to cook them, prepare them, or eat them, we're staying away from politics. I've even gotten, you know, seasoning and stuff like that from the program. Like I've gotten nice, expensive, you know, Indian ground pepper and stuff like that. Food items are nice when you can find them. Because it's food. It's zero tax, and you're going to eat it. I even found, even every now and then, you even find things like toilet paper. Although that's pretty rare. But food items will disappear very quickly. Televisions disappear very quickly. Computers disappear very quickly. I got this laptop off there. I got the computer that we're using right now. I got off there. These gaming monitors, I got off there. The arms, the monitor arms that are holding these monitors up, I got off there. The rolling stand that this TV is sitting on, got it off there. Shelving units. Oh my God, when I found shelving units, I was in heaven. I'm talking nice wire racks, you know, NSF style shelving units. Oh, I got every one of them. Gimme. You can never have too many shelving units. Never. My preferred way to cook politicians is on an open fire spit. All right, you pike them, okay? You put them on a spit and then you roll them, and you just slow cook them that way. Yeah. You cut a piece off every now and then, yeah. I find barbecue sauce is the best. You know, if they're a little bit of a rancid politician, barbecue sauce just covers up everything, you know. Oh my God. But a deal I found for you guys today, it's in the description down below, is this. All right, first, this is a bullshit price. That's what they do when they want to make you think you're getting a really, really good deal. This actually is a good deal. There's a coupon code, which you might not need. There is a on-site here, 20% discount. And then there's also a 50% discount, and they stack. So before tax, this is $179.99, which is mind-blowing. Your typical unit is $150 to $200, and it's going to look something like this. You know, you got your AC ports, your USB and DC ports, your cigarette lighter port. Usually you'll have a light on it. So this actually has two lights. That's just junk. But there's usually some form of light. There's usually AC ports, DC ports, USB ports, and 12-volt ports. For me, a go no-go when it comes to battery packs is USB charging. I want to be able to charge it by USB. I don't care if it takes me 20 hours to charge it. I don't care how slow it is. I want to be able to charge it by USB. Because the problem is they come with a dedicated specific charger. And if you lose that dedicated specific charger, good luck getting another one. Have fun, okay? That's why I want my devices to be able to charge by USB. So if I lose the dedicated charger, it's okay. I just plug in my 20-watt PD USB cable and I start charging it up and it's fine. This one actually charges at the full 18 watts that can put out, which is pretty cool because it charges up overnight. Now, this one also has a wireless charging pad on top. That's different things they have. But the point is, this is your solar generator, your portable power station. I got a zillion of these things. I got this one here. I got this one here. I got 2 anchors out in the car. Same deal. You have your AC, your DC, your USB, your input output. You're good to go. This one has a light on the side. That's all. They're all pretty simple devices. And basically, it's a whole bunch of batteries inside there. And they're usually in 12 to 30 volts, whatever configuration they have in there. And then there's circuitry in there to convert to 110 or convert to 12, whatever. They can solar charge, so you can plug a solar panel into them. Most of them have limited UPS functionality where it can charge and discharge at the same time. But of course, your ultimate limit is how fast will it allow you to charge. So for example, this one I believe will allow a 100-watt solar input. Now that's pretty good, except for the fact that means to use this on a continuous basis, you can't plug anything into it that's over 100 watts. Because otherwise, you're going to slowly deplete the battery since you're limited to 100-watt solar input. So that's a factor to consider depending on what you're running. Now, there is an exception to the USB input requirement. Because I actually bought one that does not have USB input charging. But it has direct AC input charging. That means you plug your standard C13 cable directly into the device and you charge it that way. That I'm okay with because C13 cables are common. All right, so I'm okay with that. If it has enough other features to justify it, I'm okay with direct AC input. And plus, I think there's a way I can use the solar input to bypass that limitation because for example, the Bluetti one that I got. It can accept 12 to 28 volt solar input. And it'll accept up to 200 watts of solar input, which is pretty cool. Well, USB-C PD has a spec of 20 volts, 5 amps. That's 100 watts. And that's within the solar limitation spec for the device. So I should be able to rig up a circuit and an adapter to allow me to plug USB-C PD 100 watt into that and charge it up. Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice battery. And what John just mentioned there is my second major requirement. This wasn't a requirement 6 months ago, but you guys remember the video of one of my batteries on fire in my front yard? Yeah, I don't buy lithium ion anymore. Well, I don't buy lithium ion to be line interactive UPS. A dedicated device like this is fine because a device doesn't typically blow up when it's discharging or charging or just sitting here, existing. It blows up when it's continuously charging or discharging. What usually will happen is the batteries will degrade a little bit. The charging circuit does not correctly recognize the batteries have degraded a little bit, and it's overcharging the batteries, trying to get them to reach a capacity they can no longer reach because the batteries have degraded, and that's when they go boom. So if you're not using a line interactive UPS style battery pack, then the lithium ion limitation doesn't apply. But if it's something that you're going to use indoors that's going to be continuously plugged in, then my second requirement comes into play. It must have lithium iron phosphate batteries. First of all, what we have in battery technology, we have something called SOC, or state of charge. And all batteries wear out as you use them, okay? Every time you use a battery, it loses a little bit of capacity. You're wearing the battery out. You're physically wearing it out. That exists, that happens. Nothing you can do about it. All batteries wear out to some level or another. However, the difference between lithium ion and LFP, lithium iron phosphate, is freaking huge. It's incredible. The lithium ion is more power dense, but it's also more destructive. So it'll go up in flames easier. It also wears out faster. The way we judge batteries is called 80% SOC. So how many charge cycles can you get until your battery reaches an SOC of 80%? What that means is if your battery was originally 100 watt hours, at 80%, it will now only hold 80 watt hours. So how long to get to an SOC of 80%? With normal lithium ion batteries, about 400 to 500 cycles. Now, a cycle is a full discharge, full recharge. So if you discharge to 50% and then charge back up, that counts as half a cycle. So you could do that 1,000 times before you reach 80% SOC. Lithium iron phosphate reaches 80% SOC between 2 and 5,000 cycles. So even your worst lithium iron phosphate battery is going to last at least 5 times longer than your best lithium ion batteries. Now, the consequence of that is the batteries themselves are physically a little bit larger and they have lower capacity per unit volume of space. Lifey batteries are much safer. So for line interactive functionality, I will not buy anything that's not Lifey. If it's lithium ion, I don't want it. Now, if it's something you're taking with you and you're just using it to power stuff, lithium ion's fine. But if it's something that you're going to be continuously charging, it's going to be plugged into a solar setup or it's going to be plugged in as a UPS in the house, I would not touch anything but lithium iron phosphate. I mean, they catch fire if you attempt to overcharge a battery, it tends to expand, and what happens when it expands and it distorts, it shorts out internally, and there is a ridiculous amount of energy. There is 298 watt hours of power inside this little box. That's a lot of juice, and it can dump 50 amps if you short it. So when you do that, when you short something that has that much energy in it, well, it goes boom. I mean, it literally does go boom. What happens is the cells were actually overpressurizing and shooting out of the machine as it melted. Yeah, well, because they can. I mean, do the math. If you have 4,000 charge cycles, that's like 12 years if you recharge it every single day. I mean, the batteries have an incredible lifespan. I mean, lithium iron phosphate is it. That's what we should be using until we have something better. But the problem is they're heavier and they're bigger. So for example, this has 298 watt hours of energy in it. But if I were to put Lifey batteries in here, I could only fit maybe 210 watt hours. So you would either have to accept lower capacity or accept a bigger device to account for the difference in space. As far as I'm concerned, worth it. So I understand why we don't use Lifey in things like cell phones. It would make the phones substantially bigger. So I understand that. But for things like this, for things like cars and any kind of home application, lithium iron phosphate is it. So this is a particularly nice battery. It's nice enough that I bought one even though I can't afford it. It's on my credit card. It's $180. $194 with my tax. My tax is very high here. It's 8.125%. But it's $180 with both coupons. Now, let's look this over. It does have the same annoying limitation that really pisses me off. 10 amps, 12 volts. It's like, I need 20 amps. I need 200 watts. Because I want to run 12 volt stuff off of this. But I might have a way around that. So you have your DC ports. You have your two 5510 DC outputs there, and you have your regular 12 volt, car cigarette lighter jack. You have dual AC ports. These will put out 500 watts. That's actually pretty impressive. Most of these battery boxes only do 300 watts. And if you get a little one like this, you only get 100 watts. But these are incredibly useful. I love this little battery box. This thing is so incredibly useful. But it's just handy to have around. A little 100-watt output. It's got your little. I have a little dongle I can plug into here to get a 12-volt jack. That's the only thing I wish it had. I wish I had a full-size 12-volt jack. Even if they had to make it a little bit bigger, I would have loved the full-size 12-volt jack. This is great for garage sales, caboose sales, yard sales, scrap sales, flea markets, stuff like that. Because you can plug most things into this and test them and see if they work. Like, you can even plug a microwave into this. You can't turn the microwave on, but you can plug it in and see the screen light up and see if the buttons work. All right, and when you try to run the microwave, it's obviously not going to work on 100 watts. Well, if it's an 800-watt microwave and you put it in defrost mode and you put it at 10% power, it might. It'll probably trip in this, but it might turn on, for a half a second or so, long enough for you to know that something was happening. But this is amazing. But obviously, you have bigger ones like this. So this is cool because it uses lithium iron phosphate batteries. It has all your standard AC, USB, and 12-volt ports. It's got a pretty nice screen that shows in and out, which is pretty cool. It is limited to 10 amps on the 12-volt, which is annoying, but not a deal breaker. The input, you see there, that input is a barrel jack. And so if you lose that power supply, you have some problems. But this unit, look over here. You have PD 20 watt and you have PD 100 watt. That means you can plug a USB-C PD 100 watt connection into this device and it'll charge or accept a charge. It's bi-directional. It says in and out, which means you can charge this at 100 watts from USB-C PD, which you can get for $20. That's nice. It also has a couple of quick charge ports. There's two QC 3.0 ports there. They're either QC or they're just 3 amp. They might just be generic 3 amp ports, which is fine. And because you have your PD 20 watt, good for your cell phone, and your PD 100 watt, good for your tablet or your laptop. The AC is 500 watts, which is 200 more than your typical battery box. If you start looking up, your typical standard $200 battery box, most of them have 300 watt AC ports. This has 500 watts, which is nice. Also, it's a bigger battery. This is coming. I'll have this in the beginning of September. This has a 518 watt hour battery. That's over 200 watt hours more. That's 220 watt hours more than you typically get in your standard $200 battery box. Your $150 to $200 battery box is typically going to be 298 watt hours. And it's not usually lithium iron phosphate. This is both. Yes, you can. I think. I'm not sure. Obviously, it's going to be very slow to recharge at 5 watts with your standard USB charger. Your standard USB charger is 5 watts. No, this is $200. This is a common tactic that a lot of these companies use. They'll put a ridiculously high price on a product like this, and then they'll give you a big giant coupon. So this has both a $250 coupon and a 20% coupon, which brings the price down to $180. You can see here. See? So you got the $300 coupon, that's your 50% off coupon. And then you have the $120 coupon, which is your 20% coupon. So it looks like it gave you 20% off the $600 instead of 20% off the $250, which is nice. So you got it for $179.99. Now, I, of course, have high taxes here, so I paid almost $15 in taxes, sales tax. So $194.50. That's hard to fucking beat. I mean, that's a fair price for one of these. And this has 220 watt hours of higher capacity, 200 watts more power available on the AC ports, uses lithium iron phosphate, so it's not going to burn your house down. And it has PD 100 watt input. And this is capable of charging simultaneously from the PD 100 watt port and the AC port, which means you could, in theory, plug 2 solar panels into this. One solar panel would plug directly into the input, The other solar panel, you get like a 150-watt solar panel, and then connect a USB PD adapter to it to get a 100-watt PD output and plug that into this. So in theory, you can get upwards of 200 watts of input charge on this thing. It would take a little bit of finagling to do it, but it can, which is pretty cool. So it can plug off, it can accept a charge from both of those ports simultaneously. And spec-wise, you can't beat this. What is a Yale L1 outside smart lock? As far as door handles, those all the time they appear on that program. I have them on all of my doors. I don't have keys for my house. There are no keys. I just stick my finger on the door and open the door. So this has 518 watt hours, 100 watt solar input, lithium iron phosphate, and 500 watt AC, and bidirectional USB-C PD. The only way you could make this box better, in my opinion, would be to increase the solar input to 200 watts and give me, 15 amps out of the 12 volt ports. That's the only way you can make this better. I don't know. I get these. I'll show you. Let me show you what I got. I think I can do a search for door. Oh, another good deal. You can get this Mott's fruit flavored snacks, the gummy snacks. 40 pack for $5.88. And you don't see it here because I already bought it, but there's a 20% coupon. I don't know. I'm assuming it's still available, and I can't see it because I already used it. But there's a 20% coupon available. And then combine that with subscribe and save. You see you save 5% with subscribe and save, plus the 20% coupon. And what you do is you set it for 6 months, so you have time to cancel it after you receive it. But yeah, so it's like $4.62 for a 40 pack of gummy snacks. Pretty hard to beat if you like that. Okay, so let's do a search for what I use. I got these giant reefs. I actually got these on the last day I was in the program. I woke up in the morning, I ordered this reef. I came back later in the day to see if there's any more, and I was booted. So that was the last thing I ordered from the program. If you like decorating your house, oh, you're gonna be in hog heaven. Every time a reef popped up, I ordered it because I just love decorating my house. So I have different reefs for different holidays. Here we go. Here's the one I use. So you have the fingerprint scanner. You have a pin pad, so you can enter a code. I can also connect to this over my network, and I can send somebody temporary permission to access my house. So I can send them a one-time use code that'll let them open the door. It does have a backup key that uses that decent lock method, although I already lost the keys. You just plug in a USB port to recharge it. I've had this for, when did I get this? August 4th. I've had it for a year, and my battery's at 55%. So you'll get about a year and a half to 2 years on the charge. And but this is what I use on my house. It's not perfect. I have an issue where every now and then it just won't read my finger when it's particularly cold or my hands are wet. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. It's really annoying because it also won't let me punch in a pin at the same time. So I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know if these are 100% reliable, so keep that key on your key ring. But 99% of the time, it's just wonderful. I just walk up the door, it unlocks, and I walk into the house. I don't have to worry about leaving the door unlocked because it automatically relocks again. It's pretty nice. I have a few different ones. So I have this one on my back door. So on the back door of the house, I have this one. And, they're about 80 to 130 bucks. Thank you, Colin. But this battery box is impressive. It's impressive enough that I bought it. The big thing for me was the lithium iron phosphate, the 500 watt hours with the 500 watt AC, and the PD 100 watt input output. That was the big thing for me. The only thing I find lacking, no, it's got a USB port right on it. Some have, I've seen some with AAA batteries inside, but mine actually has, it's a rechargeable battery, and thankfully the rechargeable battery is on the inside handle, so you don't have to worry about it getting frozen. But you just plug a micro USB cable into it, into one of your little battery boxes, and it recharges. But you don't have to do that very often. Once a year, once every other year. But for $180, you can't beat this. There is no better deal available. I don't think it has wireless charging. With the 100 watt input, it'll recharge in 5 hours. So you can recharge this from dead in 5 hours. And if you're portable, if you're mobile, as long as what you plug into it is less than 100 watts, the solar panels will be able to provide all the power and keep you charged up. So, for example, if you plug an Ender 2 or an Ender 3 into this and you turn off the heat bed, that'll be under 100 watts. And you'll basically be able to run this continuously. And you'll even be able to run it for, 6 or 7 hours after dark. Once the sun goes down. And then the next day, you'll be able to run it again once the sun comes up, and it'll both run your printer and recharge the battery. And, in fact, if you finagle a way to use this USB port to charge it from a second solar panel, or just use a 200 watt solar panel, and then you only need one solar panel, you just split the power and run one to the input here, and then split that output, run it to a USB adapter, 12 volt USB adapter. You can buy those. Here, $35 here. I thought I saw them cheaper. That's pretty cheap, but still. Oh, here's a 65 watt for $19. So you could take something like this, and if you have a 200 watt panel mounted on the roof of your car, this is exactly what I will do. I'll put a 200 watt panel, probably 300 watts total, because I'll have 2 batteries. Put a 200 watt panel on the roof of your car or trailer, and then you just split the power into the 5510 plug and run it to this device here. And then this USB port here would go to the other port on the battery. So your 5510 plug would go right to this, and it would take 100 watts. If you plug 200 watts into it, it'll simply just take 100 watts. So that excess power is available, it's just not being used. And then your second lead from this into this port, and now you're recharging at 165 watts. That's nice. And that's exactly how I'll power this. 65 watts is probably more reliable than 100 watts because 100 watt PD plus the conversion, and you really need a 300 watt panel to do that. But 65 watts plus 100 watts, you can easily get that out of a 200 watt panel in good sunlight. So you'll be able to recharge this at 165 watts, which means you can plug 165 watts of load into this and never deplete the battery. And if clouds come over or starts raining, that's okay. You got 500 watt hours of capacity. You can run your 3D printer, basically any 3D printer, if you turn off the heat bed. I mean, there really is no difference between an Anycubic Chiron, a CR10S5, a CR10, an Ender 3, and an Ender 2 as far as power consumption. They all consume exactly the same amount of power. They have the same brain board. They have the same hot end. They have the same 40mm fans. It's all the same. The only thing different is the heat bed. So as long as you put a surface on your printer that does not require heat, then you can get away with running without a heat bed. And you could run your 3D printer off of this pretty much anywhere, anytime, for as long as you want. Now, the only gotcha would be if you wanted to run a print that was longer than 24 hours. Because, overnight, basically. Because this does not have enough power to run a printer overnight. So this is 518 watt hours. Your printer is going to consume between 40 and 60 watts. So let's call it 60 watts. Well, probably on average 50. It's probably going to average 50 or 60 watts. But let's call it 60. So if you're going to run 60 watts, you're going to have at least 12 hours of inadequate solar. So 12 times 60. You need 720 watt hours to make it overnight, which means you have a deficit of 202 watt hours. So what you can do is you can plug a second one in. You have two of these into two solar panels, and then you plug the 100 watt output from the one into the 100 watt input of the other. Or better probably would be to use the AC ports. So you could take DC out at 10 amps into the other box, and then AC out at 10 amps into the other box. This way you'll deplete the one box first, and then start depleting the second box, but then the sun will be up, and then it'll start recharging both boxes again. So it is entirely possible to do that. And I'm probably going to try to do that when I do my trips next year. You know, plug like this box into that box so that I have enough to run the freezers overnight. Because I'm going to bring a big cooler with me and try to bring some food with me to reduce my costs for taking these trips next year. And two of these battery boxes, one 300 unit will run the battery for 6 hours. So a 500 will run it for about 8 hours. So I'll get about 14 hours of independent runtime if I plug both boxes into the freezer. So the way I would do that is I would have, you know, a 100 watt panel going into one unit, a 100 watt panel going into the other unit. So both battery boxes would have 100 watts solar input. The freezer would be plugged into the 500 watt hour box. And then I would have a charger going from the AC from the one box into the other box. And because the other box will accept direct AC input. So solar panel into the solar input, AC from the second box into the first box. This way the second box will keep the first box charged until the second box is dead. And then it'll switch over to using the second box. And that will give me enough power to make it through a night. And when the sun comes up the next day, the solar panels will begin charging both batteries. And the solar panels produce enough power to both run the freezer and fully recharge both batteries before the sun goes down again. And then I have enough power to run it again. That would be the optimal way to do it. The other box that I got, EB3A, which I'm actually thinking about selling the other box that I got and getting another one of these. But the other box has some distinct advantages. So here's the Bluetti box, and you can get $60 off on this. So it would be $240, and that is copy. That's this unit. You can get it for cheaper on eBay. I think you can get these for under $200 for like $180 on eBay. This one is a little bit different. It has USB-C PD 100 watt, but it's not bi-directional. It's one way. So it'll put out 100 watts, but it won't take 100 watts. Normally that'd be a deal breaker. But this one accepts direct AC input. So that port right there, that cover, you just plug your standard C13 PC cable directly into that port. So there's no external charger. That allows me to accept a unit that doesn't have PD input. This is also lithium iron phosphate. This one can accept up to 430 watts of input power. So it'll accept a charge from the solar panel at up to 200 watts. So you can plug 200 watt of solar into this. And then you can also plug the AC in at the same time. So what I'll do is I would take, the second battery box, AC out from the second battery box to the AC input on this battery box, which means I can now run a 400 watt load if I want to, continuously on solar. And what's really cool is it will prioritize solar over AC. So if you give it 200 watts of AC and 200 watts of solar, and you only need 300 watts, it'll do 200 watts solar, 100 watts AC. It'll prioritize. It'll get all the power from the solar first, and then take only what it needs from the AC, which saves you money. That's pretty cool. This one has 600 watt inverter inside, and it's very strict. At 625 watts, it cuts off. It has 2 standard USB ports, wireless charger on the top. This one also has an app, so you can connect this to your phone with the Bluetti app and see detailed input-output information, turn things on and off. It's pretty darn cool. It's a nice unit. And it's fast. If you put it in turbo mode, which you shouldn't do every time because you make the batteries hot, and you plug the AC into this, you can recharge this thing in 1 hour. Like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. It's stupidly fast. It's incredibly fast to recharge this unit. And you can also put it in silent mode, so it'll only charge at 100 watts, but no fans. So completely quiet. That's nice too. If you're in a hotel room and you got to plug this thing in at night to charge it up again for the next day, well, even at 100 watts, it's only going to take 2.5 hours to recharge. So it'll recharge before you wake up. So you stick it in silent mode, and then you don't have to worry about it being noisy in your hotel room. So this is pretty nice. But that unit is pretty nice. And this unit, however, is pretty baller. I mean, I'm just blown away that they have now a lithium iron phosphate 518 watt hour unit for under $200. That's incredible. I remember when these standard units were $500 and $600. Oh, also I found a pair of Croc knockoffs, $9.90. So they're where are they at? Hey, don't jump on me. Here somewhere. There it is. So you apply the coupon code, you get it for $9.90. Sadly, it's a one-time use coupon, so I couldn't order another pair. I was going to order a second pair for that price, but it wouldn't let me, so the coupon is one time only. 100 watts. This one is 100 watt max on the solar. So you can see it right there, 100 watt. But the cool thing is you can also stop jumping on me. Jesus. It's 100 watt max on the solar, but you can also simultaneously input on the USB-C PD. So, voltage, I don't know. Does it show it anywhere? I'm checking. I'm guessing it's a 12 volt panel. It doesn't say. I would assume 12 to 18 volt panel. Yeah, I'm going to assume it's 12 volt until I know otherwise. I can't see the other panels, so I can't see the panel in the back that would show voltages. Hey, James. So I'm going to assume it's 12 volt. But to do that, you would use something like this. Shit's going to fall if I pick it up in a minute. So you would use something like this. So there's a 120 watt solar panel. That's 4 panels there. You see, it's still got Colorado dust on it. But I strapped that down to the roof of the car and I plugged that into my battery box. Well, that's fine. Please don't mess with me. 125 is a little high, but still not bad. You could plug a 300 watt panel into this. Just plug a voltage converter into it. You know, just down convert it to 12 volts. Because if you're hooking up a 300 watt panel, that's not a portable configuration. You're talking about a 40-pound glass and aluminum panel. You're mounting that to something. So mounting a converter underneath of it to give you the 12 volt out is not going to be a problem. And what you then can do is hook up multiple converters, since you have excess capacity. So you do is you convert that to 12 volts, and then you split the power, and you have the 12 volts going directly into the battery box, and then you have the other split going to that $19 65 watt USB PD adapter I just showed you, and then you plug a USB cable into the battery box. Now you're charging at 165 watts. In theory, that should work. And with 300 watts, even with poor sunlight, you should still be able to get a full speed charge. Now that would be my ideal solution. Put a 300 or 400 watt like LG panel on the roof of my car. Just strap it right down to the roof rack on the car. Just leave it there permanently. And I can even run that to the car's battery to trickle charge the car's battery and keep it from ever depleting too. And yeah, that'd be perfect. And you would have excess power. So you could plug in 165 watts to this one. You could plug in a second battery box if you wanted to, or split it 3 times and plug in 3 battery boxes at 100 watts. I mean, you could do a lot. With a 300 watt panel on the roof, you could do a lot. It is. It really is. The only reason I posted it. It really is a great deal. $180 for 500 watt hours, 500 watt AC inverter, and lithium iron phosphate batteries. And the PD 100 watt. I mean, that's just nice. I mean, if you have a device capable of charging at 100 watts PD, that's nice to have. Like this laptop will charge off that USB-C PD port. And then the 20 watt PD port will charge your phone. So there's your laptop, there's your phone, then your earbuds and whatever other USB gadgets you have plugged in there. Your freezer plugs into your AC ports. You got your 12 volt jack for any like a 12 volt fan or something like that. I mean, it's a nice configuration. This is a nice the power has gone out type device. Can it run a fridge? I'm not sure. I know it can run the fridge on average power. I don't know if it can handle that compressor spike when it turns on. Because sometimes it's short enough that it's hard to measure, but sometimes it's long enough to overwhelm these devices. Like this does have a 1,000 watt peak. So this can handle a surge, but usually only for a few milliseconds. And if it goes too much longer than that, it'll cut out. So I'm not 100% sure on that. And of course you can't UPS it, because if you plug a 300 watt device into this, you can only charge at 165 watts. So you're not going to be able to continuously do that. But yeah, for $190 with tax, that's hard to beat. I mean, I have yet to find anything close to that. It actually draws a 6 amp surge. Wow. So that's not bad. Times 120. That's 700 watts. Maximum 700 watts. Will that handle 700 watts? I don't know. It says 1,000 watt surge. So it depends on if the surge is long enough to handle the fridge. It might. You're going to find out. Let me know. Let me know. But in theory, it should work. Now, something else people don't realize you can do. Again, it's low power, but you could take something like this. Let's go smaller. Oh, you're not going to hurt nothing. The worst that'll happen is they'll turn off. You're not going to hurt nothing. You don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Here we go. So you get something like this. That's a 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, or 1.28 watt hours of power. Let's see. Text. And you can look around and get whatever you want. But this is just one particular example. But you take the 12 volts out of this and you plug it in to the 12 volt input on the battery here. And now, as long as your load is less than 100 watts, this will run forever. And what you do is you plug your solar, you plug your MPPT solar controller into this battery, and then you take your 12 volt output and plug it into this battery. So when the sun comes up, your 300 watt panel will charge this at 100 watts, and it'll charge this at 200 watts. You just make sure you have any MPPT controller will handle that. So you charge this at 200 watts and this at 100 watts, so both will be recharged before the end of the night. And now you'll have what is it? 1,700 watt hours of capacity. You know, this combined with this, assuming the inverter can handle the surge of the fridge or freezer turning on, this plus this, and a $125 300 watt panel, and you're now completely off grid for your fridge or freezer. Now your ROI is not that great. Your ROI is going to be about 10 years, which is not horrible. I mean, it'll take you 10 years to save enough electricity to pay for both of these boxes, but you could run other stuff off of this. You can run 12 volt accessory ports off, because you're going to have 1280 plus 518. That's 1800 watt hours. You don't need 1800 watt hours to run your fridge. 1 kilowatt hour, 1000 watt hours will run your fridge for 24 hours. That's actually pretty high. That's a power hungry fridge. That's more than I thought. So you need, you would need this battery to run overnight. Because if you're averaging 93 watt hours, that means you need, let's call it 100 watt hours, because you're going to have efficiency loss in the AC inverter. You would need, you'd be better off just buying, a 200 amp hour battery and then hooking up a small inverter to it and a solar panel to it. You'd be better off doing that. So you need 2.4 kilowatt hours per 24-hour day. You're going to get 3 kilowatt hours out of the solar, which means you'll be able to recharge the batteries. Yeah, so I wonder why your fridge draws so much more. See, 57 watts makes more sense. That's what I was expecting, about 60 watts. 93 is high. That's like unusually high for a fridge. But 93 times 12 hours of poor sunlight, you need 1.1 kilowatt hours. So this battery here would be enough to get you overnight. You need one of these to get overnight. So you would have an extra 500 watt hours of capacity. Well, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. Because the ice, if you're running the ice maker continuously, then yeah, it's going to run more power. So that might be the difference. So in a power down situation, you would simply stop using the ice maker. You know, flip the lever up and stop using the ice maker. But this unit plus this battery plus your 125 watt solar panel plus, you know, a charge controller, which you can get for like 20, 30 bucks, would be enough to run your fridge around the clock. And that solar panel would be sufficient to fully recharge the battery box and fully recharge this box. And you can even plug a USB PD adapter from this to the battery box to recharge the battery box even faster. But yeah, that would be enough to that plus this. So 500 bucks would be enough to run your fridge indefinitely off grid. Worst case scenario, you might need to add a second solar panel for winter sun because you're going to get worse sun in the winter. So you might want to add a second one of those 125 watt panels. I tend to prefer to have 2 times the solar I need for my application. So 300 watts is what you need. So you want 600 watts. This way, even in poor winter sunlight, you'll still get enough power to recharge your stuff. Nice. Very nice. I need a little bit more than that. I need at least a 12 kilowatt hour battery, and that's what's killing me because I average 12 kilowatt hours per day. And if I'm going to run an off-grid scenario, I need 2 days power. You say, wait a minute, 12 kilowatts one day. Well, you cut back on your power usage when something goes wrong. So now you can get 2 days out of it. But because that'll give me 2 days to fix whatever's wrong with the solar if something goes wrong. But yeah, it's just the cost of these batteries. They're just so expensive. Ooh, batteries are expensive. Actually, your best bet, if you can afford it, is to buy a used electric car or a junked electric car battery, because then you'll get 15 to 20 kilowatt hours of battery capacity. So let's see here. 330, it's about the same price. 340, it's about the same price. Power Queen is supposed to be pretty good. I've seen some current reviews on Power Green, the Power Queen, that are very good. Good quality construction, etc. And it's the same price, 330. It's, you know, 370, but you get a $30 coupon. Now, if you want to go big, of course, then you're looking at 300 amp hour batteries. So now you're at about $1,000. You can get 12 kilowatt hours of batteries. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Because this here is 2.5 kilowatt hours. So 4 of them would be $4,000. So yeah, that's about right. It's about right. The price has come down quite a bit over the last 5 years. Oh, absolutely. You'd get 4 of these bad boys and you'd hook them up 48 volt. Oh yeah, definitely. Because 48 volts a hell of a lot more efficient and cheaper than 12 volts. Could you imagine the copper you'd need if you want to draw, 10 kilowatt hours at 12 volts? You're going to need some chunky copper to do that. So yeah, you definitely want to gang these up in a 4S configuration and go 48 volt. Yeah, but pricey. Oh man, I'd love to have a couple of these batteries. 1450 for 5.4 kilowatt hours. That's actually cheaper than these. Really? Hang on. EC4 life power. Search Google. Wow. That's actually really cheap. That's actually shockingly affordable. Is it lithium iron phosphate? Yeah, 7,000 deep cycle cells. So it's lithium iron phosphate. You can't get 7,000 cycles on lithium ion. Wow. Yeah, no shit. If only I could afford one of these. If only. Man. Well, then obviously that's the way you'd want to go. Jesus. Yeah, but why only a 5-year warranty? If they're so sure this has got a 10 to 20-year cycle life, why only a 5-year warranty? I'd be a little worried about that. Usually a device lasts as long as they're willing to warranty it. Wait a minute. Does that mean it can handle 7,000 cycles, or there's 7,000 batteries inside? Nah. There wouldn't be 18650s in there, would there? That'd be nuts. No, cycle life 7,000 times. Because a cycle life of 7,000 times is a minimum of 20 years. And that's if you were to fully deplete it every day. So why would they only warranty it for 5? To me, that's a red flag. Like, they're more expensive, but I might be willing to go with like Battleborn, to get that 10-year warranty from an established manufacturer. That 5-year warranty concerns me. It's also only got a 100 amp BMS. That's part of the reason why it's got that life cycle. You can't hammer them very hard. Although 100 amps at 48 volts is not so bad. So it could put out 5 kilowatts of power. Yeah, I'm sorry. That actually doesn't matter because it's 48 volts. So 4.8 kilowatt hours, which means you could run two 20 amp house circuits on that at full power and not be a problem. Okay. Huh. That's amazing they're that small. Yeah, 5 years and limited to the original purchaser. That also means you don't want to buy the battery in advance. You want to buy the battery when you're ready to use it because the warranty starts when you buy it. That's pretty cool. Looks like it has high and low temperature protection. That's good. Huh. That is an incredible price. 5-year warranty concerns me, though. $500 for a 6-slot rack is not too bad. Oh, really? Where's that at? Here we go. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. The don't even think about the $1,500 one. Uh, for $250 more, it's $1,750. For $250 more, I wouldn't even consider the $1,500 unit. I mean, just the inclusion of the extra connections in the screen. Yeah, I would throw that $1,500 one right out of your selection bucket. Don't even consider it. I mean, the inclusion of the better connections, more connections, and the onboard screen, plus the 10-year warranty. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. You just buy the 1750 one. And you get parallel 16 of them. Wow. Jesus. Yeah, I wouldn't even think twice. I would definitely get the 1750 one. Better connections, better specs, and the 10-year warranty. That's an instant no-brainer. Oh, bookmark it. It'll be years before I could think about something like this, but I'll keep it bookmarked. Maybe it'll be cheaper in 5 years. That is cool though. Oh yeah. $6,000 right there. That's incredible. See, as much as I want to go off grid, it economically doesn't make much sense. Because, like, for example, this here would be 15 kilowatt hours, which would be the minimum I would need. Ideally, you'd want double this, but the minimum would be this 16 kilowatt hours. And that'd be sketchy in the wintertime. But, $6,000 divided by $150 electric bill. $6,000 divided by $150 electric bill. That's 40 years. I'm not going to live for 40 years, which means this battery alone, I still have to have solar panels. This battery alone, oh no, you're right. No way. You're right. That's 40 months, isn't it? That's only 3.3 years. That's not so bad. So figure 6 years when you add the solar and the charge controllers and the mounting. Well, that's not a bad ROI. That's not bad at all. Even if you had two of them, that's only going to be 7 years, and you'd have 30 kilowatt hours of capacity, which means 3 days reserve power at full usage, which also means enough to run electric heaters. So you'd eliminate your heating fuel. Wow. And if the batteries actually last for 20 years, again, that's longer than I'll be alive. Wow. But you still have to have that cheddar up front. That's the problem. You got to have that cheddar up front. That's why I'm trying to figure out a way to piecemeal it. You know, instead of taking the house off grid, take little pieces of the house off grid. Like the first thing I would like to get off grid would be lights, ceiling fans, and fridge and freezers. Get those off grid. And that right there would, you know, my most frequent usage is lighting, cooling, and, you know, the fridges. Then the second thing to go off grid would be the kitchen. One of these batteries would run my kitchen. You know, because you remember, you know, your stove might take, you know, your induction plate might take, you know, 1600 watts, but it's only going to draw that for 20 to 60 minutes, however long you're cooking. And so one of these 5 kilowatt hours would be enough for like 2 days of microwave, air fryer, and toaster, and coffee machine, and induction plate usage. And you could also start shifting a lot of your usage toward the daytime. So what I should be doing, and I don't know why this is so difficult for me to do. If I can get up at 10 o'clock and go to bed at 2 a.m., why is it so hard for me to get up at 6 a.m. and go to bed at 11 p.m. or 10 p.m.? Why is that so hard to do? Why is it so difficult to make that change? I haven't figured out yet why that's so hard. I mean, it's the same number of hours of sleep, and it's the same number of hours awake. But for some reason, it's ridiculous. No, you don't. If I shift back the time I wake up 4 hours, and I shift back the time I go to bed 4 hours, then I'm getting the exact same amount of sleep. You know, if I go to bed at 2 and I get up at 10, that's 8 hours of sleep. If I go to bed at 10 and get up at 6, that's 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, but I do it all the time. I just can't sustain it. I always end up defaulting back to this 10 to 2 instead of the 6 to 10 that I want. Because here in the desert, getting up at 6 is ideal. You get the beautiful sunrise. You get to enjoy the low heat before it gets really hot. But if I can get my body into more of a 6 to 10 lifestyle, then I would only be drawing high power for like 2 or 3 hours each night. Because, you know, the sun goes down about 8. Especially once we get rid of daylight savings time, which we're doing next year. So if I can make my lifestyle work within daylight hours, then most of my power consumption becomes irrelevant. Because the solar panels make enough power during the day. The only food deal I got, well, I got a couple of little deals. I got the hang on. So I got the Mott's. I got the French's. The coffee. I grabbed this. You guys saw me. It's out in the car. I haven't brought it inside yet, but I grabbed this. I ended up getting it for like $11 with the I bought a used one. I had gift cards. So I ended up getting this for $11. It makes an Olaf French toast or waffle. It's like, that's just too cool to pass up. So I grabbed that. But this is my favorite coffee I get, Southern Pecan. It's 33 cents per K-cup because you get 100 for $33. I got this was on sale. I got this for what did I get it for? $5.76. So I got that for $5.76. That's a gallon of Worcestershire sauce. And then the Mott's here, subscribe and save brings it down from $5.88 to $5.59. And if it's still available, you guys can let me know. There's a 20% coupon. I don't know if it's still there, but I got it for that was for both of these. I got the $3.96 I got it for, or $4.96. Wait a minute, $7.56 was for the thing. $4.40. So for $4.40 with the 20% coupon, I got the 40 count pack of fruit snacks for $4.40. That's pretty good. I also might have found I was going to get rid of my Costco membership because it's just I don't use it very much and it's expensive. But I might actually have a reason to keep it now. Costco has $5 rotisserie chicken. So they're roughly 7 pounds, and they're $5. I talked to some people online. They said they get on average between three. It's pretty far. It's 30 miles. I can just barely make the round trip with the electric car, just barely. Because if I had to use gas, this would be out. This would be no good. She says she gets between 3 and 4 pounds of meat out of each rotisserie chicken. 3 to 4 pounds of meat is not bad. So let's assume worst case scenario that I only get 3 pounds. That's $1.76 a pound, and it's already cooked. So I need less electricity to cook it. I only have to warm it up. And so I can strip these birds of their meat, vac seal it, and freeze it. And then when I want to, chicken, what I'll do is I'll vac seal it into like probably ideally probably about a pound. So I'd vac seal it into 3 1-pound lots. And if I got 4 pounds out of the chicken, that's 4 1-pound lots. Vac seal it, freeze it. This way I just take one vac seal. Oh, by the way, if you vac seal food and you're in that Amazon program, the rolls of vacuum bags show up all the time. So if you do that, stock up on that. And yes, that's what I was thinking. But not only do I get the meat for $1.76 a pound, it's probably more like $2.50 a pound when you add electricity and membership. So it comes out to about $2.50 a pound, which is still cheaper than chicken. No, I'm not. No. But one of the other viewers got into that program today. That's why we were talking about it. So I'm letting him know the kind of stuff he can get. I've got several years worth of vacuum bags, so I got a while before I run out. You just got to be active on Amazon. It's RNG. It's pure RNG. You can't ask for it. You can't sign up. You just have to. Well, freezing stock doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to freeze stock because the electricity. You have to think of the power to run the freezer. So the way I figure this out is let's assume 60 watts to run the freezer. So 60 times 24, you need 1.44 kilowatt hours. That's all you do. You write reviews and of course be careful with the taxes. I still do reviews, but mostly it's going to be on my YouTube channel, not on Amazon. But you need 1.44 kilowatt hours of electricity. And then multiply, that's per day. So divide by 1,000. That's 1.44 kilowatt hours times 0.147, which is my 24-hour average power cost. So it costs me 22 cents per day to run the freezer. So 0.22 times 365, $80 a year to run one freezer. The freezer is 7 cubic feet. So, 80 divided by 7. So it costs me $11.40 per year per cubic foot. So if I put a cubic foot of stock in the freezer for 1 year, it just costs me $11.47 to put that stock in the freezer, plus the cost of the containers, the jars that hold the stock. So the question is that stock worth $11? Well, the answer is no. That stock is not worth $11. I can buy that stock off the shelf for less than $11. You could buy chicken broth for $1.50 for a quart. So for $5, I can buy the same amount of stock as I can fit into $12 of freezer space. And on top of that, that stock that I buy is shelf stable, meaning I don't have to put it in the freezer. Is it going to taste as good as fresh? No. Now, what could work is if I can it. If I can the stock, then it doesn't require refrigeration, but it does require jars, and it does require a substantial amount of electricity for the canning process. You got to run your stove for what, 3 hours. So that's 1600 watts. You're not going to run it that high. You'll probably run it at more like 1100 watts. Times 3. So that's 3.3 times 0.147. So that would cost me 48 cents. The freezer is always full. You never leave a freezer empty. If a freezer is empty, you turn the freezer off. The freezers are always full. You never ever want any available space in a freezer. The reason is a full freezer is going to have a higher thermal mass. You'll have less fluctuation, and your compressor will turn on less often. It's more efficient. So it'll actually consume less electricity. On top of that, when you have a high cost cubic volume of space, well, then you do the same thing stores do. You prioritize high value items to fill that space. So, for example, a high value item would be your meats. Your meats and your other fresh stuff that you're freezing that's otherwise typically very expensive. Well, if you get a good deal, so for example, a cubic foot of chicken is going to be probably about 10 pounds of chicken. So let's do the math here. 10 pounds of chicken. It's going to cost $15. So $15 plus the $12 that the freezer space is going to cost you for a cubic foot. So it's going to cost me $27 to store 10 pounds of chicken for 1 year. And that is divide by 10. That is $2.7 per pound. And on top of that, I save a little bit more because I don't have to cook it. All I have to do is warm it up, which is going to take a lot less electricity than cooking it. So $2.70 a pound. So is that worth it? Is it worth wasting a cubic foot of freezer space to store 10 pounds of chicken? Let's find out. $3.24 a pound. So yes, it is feasible to, financially speaking, to store chicken at $2.70 a pound if you include the cost of the freezer space to store it. So that's why the broth. Let's see, those are expensive. Here we go. There it is. So here's a quart of chicken, beef, vegetable, or chicken broth. Here's the sodium. It's $1.33 a quart. And you can fit about a gallon in a cubic foot. So you're looking at about $5. On top of that, this is shelf stable. I don't have to put this in the refrigerator. I could buy this for $1.33 a quart and just stick it on my shelf in my pantry. Hi, baby. How you doing? Want some petting? Yeah, you just want some petting? So financially speaking, it makes more sense to either, well, basically use the chicken stock right away. Don't freeze it. Don't store it. Just use it. So, the most financially equitable solution would be to buy this chicken stock to store on a shelf for in off times. And the chicken stock you make from the rotisserie chicken that you buy from Costco, just use it. You know, make some nice chicken soup for the next couple days. Make some fresh noodles yourself. You know, some handmade noodles, and make up some nice, home style chicken soup for the next couple of days, and just use it right away. That would be the most. It doesn't make financial sense to store broth in the freezer. That doesn't make sense. Well, wood is expensive. Wood's not free. Now, like, if I lived in the mountains of Pennsylvania, okay, wood is free. It's a cheap resource. Here in New Mexico, wood is not a free resource. It's not available for free. So you would have to buy wood, and it's about $300 a cord, $300 or $400 a cord, and that's usually not even the good stuff. That's the pine, which burns fast, as you know, and leaves a lot of soot. So wood is a relatively expensive resource. Now, outdoors, I was thinking about getting one of those old wood-fired stoves, oven stove combos that's wood-fired, but they're so expensive. Every now and then I see one cheap, but I can't get to it before it's gone. I'd like to get a little one because I can get pallet wood free. I can usually get pallets for free. You don't really want to use them to heat your house because sometimes there's chemicals in them, but cooking outdoors would be fine. And they're oak. So I was thinking about that, just as an emergency kind of thing. You have a way of cooking, just stockpile wood, and then if the shit ever really hits the fan, and I'm out of propane, and I don't have the power, then I can cook on a fire using still use all my pots and stuff. I actually have a rocket stove. I got that off that program too. I got one of those little rocket stoves. And yeah, those little rocket stoves, it would take a little bit of work, but it would work. Now, there is an exception to freezing stuff or canning stuff. If you are off grid, then your electricity is free. And as long as you cook this stuff during the daytime, where your electricity truly is free, like you're not even using battery capacity because you're replacing it with sunlight immediately. If you're completely off grid, and if you are growing a lot of your own stuff, this starts to make more sense to store your own, because you're reducing your cost to simply your labor, which you can write off as a fact of life. So that's the dynamics change when you're producing it yourself. It's one of the reasons I would kill to get a freeze dryer. Oh my god, what I would give to have a freeze dryer. Oh my god. But they're like $4,000. It's like $3,000 for a freeze dryer plus a few accessories. You're gonna spend like $3,500, $4,000. But and they use a ridiculous amount of power. Your electric bill is gonna double because you're gonna run the thing 24/7. But you can process food to sell, and so the food you sell will pay for the electricity. Like going solar off grid with a freeze dryer would be very hard to do because it takes about 1.4 kilowatt hours. So you would need 12 kilowatt hours just to run the thing overnight. There it is. I got that one. Kind of wish I got the bigger one, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? I'd have liked the larger one. But when it's free, you don't complain. Yeah, rocket stoves are pretty efficient. And the pallet wood is perfect for it. You take a lot of cutting and splitting, but you know, that's just labor. But that's the one I got right there, and there's a link for it, $70. And of course, make sure you use your Amazon Visa card, your Amazon Prime Visa card, because then you get 5% cash back on everything you buy on Amazon. So it's like a permanent 5% Amazon discount. It's permanent. But if you are producing your own power, or you have very cheap power, that's one of the reasons I want to get the freezers off grid first, because first of all, that will guarantee that in the event of a power outage, I don't have to worry about my freezers. And second, that would reduce my freezer cost to zero. So I would no longer have a dollar value attached to freezer space. And so I could run 3 or 4 freezers at zero cost, and then I could put whatever I want in the freezer and it won't matter. Now, it would still matter in the fact that you're using up space that you could put more valuable product into, and that is an issue. But it would reduce that cost quite a bit, and the ROI would be pretty quick. So, for example, $500 at 2 freezers, $160 a year. The ROI is like 3 years, so it's a pretty quick ROI as well. I wish I can get more. I wish it was easier to get 12-volt freezers that actually had a large amount of space. Because the nice thing about 12-volt freezers is that you don't have to convert. You don't need an inverter. You can plug the freezer directly into the battery. And that eliminates the inverter altogether. Inverters aren't that expensive, especially an inverter to run a freezer. You know, my nice, $250 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter will run, 3 or 4 freezers without a problem. But it also has maintenance. It's going to consume power itself. You're going to lose 10 to 13% of your power just to the inverter. And you're going to have maintenance, because the inverter is going to have fans, and it's a wear item. It's going to wear out over time. It's just, if I could run it direct off DC, it'd be a hell of a lot more efficient. It'd be so much more efficient if I could run it direct DC. Another good food deal for you guys. Make sure you have the McDonald's app installed if you have McDonald's around you. So, McDonald's has an app, and you get points. You can see I have. It'll finally focus. Not going to focus. It's too bright areas. I got almost 14,000 points in there. And every time you buy something, you get points. So, for example, I regularly get my iced coffee. Because as you can see, iced coffee is 99 cents. And you don't have to buy anything else. It's 99 cents. I can't make it at home for 99 cents. Okay, if I buy discount beans and I use my espresso machine, I can get a little bit below 99 cents. A little bit, maybe. But not, well, no, I can't, because I have to run the ice maker. And as soon as I turn on the ice maker, you're losing the value there. So because of my particular situation where I can't use tap water and I can't run a regular ice maker, I have to run a dedicated machine to make ice. And I have to buy the water to put in that machine to make ice, and to put in that coffee machine to make coffee. It actually cost me more than 99 cents to make a 30-ounce iced coffee. So that's actually, and they give you the coffee, the creamer, the caramel, the sugar, everything. So I can't make that for 99 cents at home. It cost me more than 99 cents to make that. But today is an unusually good deal. I'm going to show you guys how to get a full large Big Mac meal for $3. Okay, so today they have a free Big Mac with a minimum $1 purchase. So here's what you do. You select the free Big Mac, add to mobile order, and we're going to customize it because I want extra pickles. And I want tomatoes, but they charge. So we're not going to add tomatoes. Now, you have to make a $1 purchase. So we go and add a large Coke. And we're going to edit the large Coke. Take it out, no ice. So there you go. Now for, actually, I'm sorry. This is a large Big Mac meal for $2. Okay, $2. So there you go. I have the free Big Mac, and I added the $1 large soda, no ice, which meets the minimum $1 purchase requirement. Okay. And then I go ahead and choose payment. Give me my Big Mac and soda for $1, please. Now, you'll want to place this order now, not when you get to the restaurant, because there's a little quirk with the way orders work in the app, and you make sure you get that number. So you make sure you get that pickup code right there. And you go to the drive-thru and you say a PP23, and then they give you your food for $1, and it's paid for through the app. On top of that, I get 2.5% back because I'm using my OLO card. Now, the reason you order it before you leave, they don't make the order until you get there, and they don't charge your card until you get there. It's sitting in their system, but nothing happens until you get to the drive-thru. And once they bring up your code in the drive-thru, then they start preparing your meal, and then they charge your card. You'll go to the first window, you'll verify the card was successful over the app, then you'll go to the second window, you pick up your meal. Why do you do that while you're at home, though? Well, because you can do multiple deals per day with the app. But there's a 15-minute lag time between orders. Now, the thing is, that 15 minutes is from when you place the order, not when you pick up the order. Okay? Now, keep in mind, this also works because I have an electric car, so I'm not wasting any gas. So what I'll do now is you can't do it beforehand because it already has that one order in progress, so you can't do anything beforehand. But notice this at the bottom, they have this, so far they've had this every day. I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but so far they've had it every day. $1 large fry, no purchase requirement. You just get a large fry for $1. So after I pick up my Big Mac and my large soda, the phone will reset. I'll order the large fry, and I'll go through drive-thru again and get my large fry. So for exactly $2.14, 15 cents, $2.15, I will get a Big Mac, a large soda, and a large fry for $2 freaking dollars. You can't make that at home for $2. You can't do it. You just can't. The electricity is going to be 30% of that. And then I'll take my second phone and order my iced coffee. So I'll show you. Actually, it looks like I have a freebie too. I'll come in on my second phone and I'll order my 99-cent iced coffee. And I can pick it, and then she'll pick whatever she wants on her phone. And then we just give them through the 3 order numbers in the drive-thru window. Customize. Add the cream. Add the sugar. Save. Add to order. No thanks. Choose payment. Place order. That did not work. That did not work. Because it didn't give me an order number. Sometimes the app glitches and you don't get an order number. That means it didn't work. Okay, why didn't that work? Oh, I might not have that deal available anymore in here. Is that true? Nope, that's not what I wanted. No, I don't want that. I want this. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's annoying sometimes. The app will just glitch. Yeah, it says it's not available anymore for some reason. That's weird. It says it's there, but it won't let me do it. Very, very weird. I'll just get the $1 prize. Ah, now I'm stuck in the queue. I gotta wait the 13 minutes now because it thinks I placed an order even though I didn't. That's why you do it from home. This way you're all set when you get there. But yeah, you can milk a lot out of that app. Unusually good deals. Maybe that's why McDonald's raised their prices so much lately to compensate for that. Who knows? I'm Groot. All right. Yeah, I wanted to give you guys that nozzle deal, but it's not available anymore. I checked and it's just not there. Another app you should probably install on your phone is called Deal News. That's this site here. So they do this because they earn money when you click on these links. These I guarantee you these are all affiliate links when you click on these, and that's how they make their money. So like, let's see if there's anything else useful in here. There's some eBay stuff. There's some Amazon stuff. Now I'm hoping to get one of these guys to send me one of these full color laser engraver. I think it has air assist as well. I thought it had air assist. But supposedly it's a full spectrum laser. Probably not as good as like yeah, air assist. So it does have air assist. But man, $1,200 freaking dollars. Even with the coupon, it's $900. Like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. But that's what I'm hoping to eventually get is one of these. I'm hoping these the full spectrum lasers become more affordable. But I searched through here, the nozzle's not there, so that coupon code must have ended yesterday. That's when I ordered it. And so but that was nice. A whole hot end for $7. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. Keep it in my spare bins box. Here's a projector. for under 100, but I don't know if it's 1080p. So is it native 1080p or what? Yeah. Okay, here you go. So 94 bucks for a 1080p native projector. That's hard to beat. I mean, that doesn't work during the daytime. You're not going to be able to use this in a well-lit room. You're gonna want it to be relatively dark, but still, $94. Here we go, coupon code. So if you want to start your own home theater, there you go. Use that coupon code plus the $30 coupon that is on the site here. So what you do is, I'm not going to order it because I don't need it, but 194, you click save here. You highlight the coupon code and copy it. You go add to cart. Proceed to checkout. And then right here where it says add gift or promotion code, you add that code there. Oop, I have a space in there. It's not working. The promotion code you entered, do I have another space somewhere? Nope. This one might be expired. So this might be an expired one. Oh no, there it goes. They mistyped it. There you go. So $94.36. You get the $70 coupon and the $30 coupon. And obviously with you guys can't see what the hell I'm doing. I'm an idiot. So on the site, do that again. You make sure you check. See you later, Colin. Thank you very much. Here's the $30 coupon that you checked. And then at checkout, you enter the coupon code here, and you get it for $100. That's a native 1080p projector. So let me tell you, you put that up on a 100-inch screen in your backyard. It's nice. It's really nice. And 1080p is more than enough. Let me close all this. Get rid of it all. But yeah, this they have an app for your phone. So install that. It's a nice app to have handy. Sometimes you get really good deals. You know, sometimes you don't get good deals, but sometimes you get really good deals. Anything else particularly good? That's not good. That's no good. That's all no good. Junk, junk, junk. Betty Crocker Ultimate Fudge Brownie Cup Baking Mix. Isn't that stuff normally $1? 13 ounces. That seems like a high price to me. Oh, I guess it's not. $3.98. Okay, so that is the normal price for that. So here you can get it for $3.21 on a subscribe and save, plus get a 20% subscribe and save on checkout, which means you'd get that for $2.57. That's not too bad. That is not a horrible deal. If you want that. 12-volt brushless drill. It's a lot of money. Good name, but a lot of money. These are nice. I actually have a string of these inside my school bus. Solar panels outside the window, and the string of lights and magnets attached to the ceiling runs down the length. This way there's always light there. Keep people out of there. These are cute and interesting. They're cool. These little tiny printers. But the problem is the paper is so expensive because the ink is in the paper. So your per picture cost is really high. Nature Valley soft baked oatmeal squares, $2.46. It's not too bad. And you see, a lot of times you can get this stuff at the dollar store. That's a really expensive wagon. I don't care how advanced that is. That's a lot of money. $8.44 for a Badaya garlic powder. That's pretty good. That's good name brand powder. I already ordered this once before. What did I pay for it? I got it for $6.73. Yeah, I grabbed it while it was on sale. So normal price is $10. So I paid even less. A simple coffee maker for $21, but I think you can get one at Walmart for $15. $10. You can get one at a Mainstays one at Walmart for $10. So not a horrible deal, but not a great deal. I mean, that's a nicer machine for sure. It's a much nicer machine, but still, for a simple machine, you can get one for $10. Ooh, family size tea bags, 24-pack for $2 for making iced tea. How much does each one make? What does family size tea bag mean? So you can make a quart of tea with one tea bag. So 4 tea bags for a gallon. So that means what is that, 6? Yeah, that's 6. So I can make 6 gallons for $1.89. That's not so bad. I'm gonna save that. 6 gallons for $1.89 is pretty good. That's 30 cents a gallon. Yeah, that's a good deal. Although you still have to add sweetener. But this is where I find some of my deals. I look through this app and I just find, you got to do your research. You got to do the math because sometimes the deals aren't that great. It's not like they're bad deals, but they're not incredible deals either. That's pretty nice. Yeah, 9-inch. That'll fit in my little oven. All those would fit in my little oven. Yeah, it's for toaster oven. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. What the hell? Why did you go here? Probably because it's a top cashback deal. But, it's one of the deals I look for. These are not Smart Life compatible, and they don't monitor consumption, so I didn't bother. 300 feet of weed barrier. I don't think that's a good deal. I think you can get it cheaper than that. I wish I had a oh god. I wish I had a Circle K closer to me. Because if you have a Circle K, they have their membership program, $6, and you can get any size drink you want once a day for $6 for a month. So as long as you use it at least 6 times, because a K-pop drink is a Polar Pop is 99 cents. So as long as you use it at least 6 times, that's actually a really good deal. If you're the kind of person who stops every day at a Circle K to get your drink or whatever, because you travel and stuff like that, this could pay for itself very quickly if you were to use it. Even just 6 times a week or 5 times a week, you'd be saving $14 a month with your Polar Pops. So that's actually a pretty good deal if you have a Circle K close. Sadly, we don't have a Circle K near us. The nearest one's 10 miles away in Moriarty. And even though the car is electric, 20 miles is still, 40 cents of electricity. each time we go. But still, it's also a matter of time. You know, you're spending a half an hour to go get a $1 drink. How many times are you going to do that before you just stop doing it? When it's around the corner and you're passing it every time you leave, that's different. But when you got to drive 10 miles each way to go to one, it's not worth it. And but if we ever got a Circle K here in town, oh yeah, I'd sign up for that right away. Because at that point, you're paying, if you use it 5 days a week, and I would. I have an electric car, so I'd make it a point to use it every day. That is, I think it's a 44-ounce soda. So 44 times 20, that's 880. How much is 2 liters? It's not 68. 67. I thought it was something like that. Divided by 67. That's 13 2-liter bottles of soda. So 6 divided by 13.1213. That's 45 cents for a 2-liter bottle of soda. So if you used it 5 times a week, which I would if it was local, I probably would use it 7 times a week. You're getting it for 45 cents for a 2-liter bottle. You can't even buy store brand 2-liter bottles of soda for 45 cents. All right, I mean that's as cheap as that. Actually is cheaper than water. Drinkable water is $1.08 per gallon, and 880 divided by 128 is 6.875 gallons. So 6 divided by 6.875 is 87 cents a gallon. Water costs me $1.08 a gallon. So I could literally drink my Diet Dr. Pepper every day for 87 cents a gallon. I can't even buy water for 87 cents a gallon. Okay, if I went to the grocery store, it's 30 cents a gallon. But then I have to bring my tank and, you know, buy 5 gallons at a time. So that is cheaper. But then you have to add your juice mix. It's 10 for $1.25, that's 12 cents. So that's 45 cents a gallon. So that it's a little bit more expensive than if you made juice at home. But still, 87 cents a gallon, that's hard to beat. And you can change the flavor every day. So that's if you have a Circle K near you, and if you're going to use it often enough to justify the price, that actually makes a lot of sense. So what is the restriction? Are there restrictions? You can even use it for beverages of like hot and iced coffee. Oh, and you can use refills up to 64 ounces. Oh, what does that cost? What if you used it 30 days? 64 times 30, that's 15 gallons. Yeah, 15 gallons. So 6 divided by 15, that's 40 cents a gallon. I can't even buy drink from the machine at the grocery store for 40 cents a gallon. Especially when you consider you can get hot and iced coffee, Polar Pops, Frosters, iced teas. And you can game this. If you bring an insulated thermos with you, I could probably bring a 1-gallon insulated thermos with me, and they probably wouldn't question it. That's almost worth the 10-mile trip. Oh my God, it's so much. Holy crap. The problem would be, we could buy 1 membership. And we could have enough drink for both of us. For 50 cents a day. Not 50 cents a day. It would be a 30. 6 divided by 30. 20 cents a day. Even with the 40 cents of electricity, that's almost worth it. Oh man, I am tempted to game that. Wow. Holy crap. Oh man, could you game that? Boy, if you were filling up a gallon, even if you only went 3 or 4 times a week, that'd be worth it. Holy crap. Yeah. You can see I like a deal, huh? Wow. For $6 a month. That is freaking tempting. God damn, that's tempting. I might try it and just see how often I go down there. Huh. Maybe I could even offset the costs. You know, offer to go down for people if they pay me a buck or $2. Give me $2 and I'll get you a gallon of iced coffee. Just let them provide the thermos and I'll just go down and fill it up. Because with the electric car and the membership, it's only going to cost me 60 cents. So if they pay me $2, you know, I make $1.40 off each run. Oh man, that is so tempting. Just to see how far I can game it. Just to fucking mess with it. Oh my god. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. It's already 2:30, and I want to make some burritos tonight. I got some tortilla shells. I got some sour cream. I got some shredded cheese. I got to pick up some pepperoncinis. I might have to go into that dreaded not a Dollar Tree and get some, even though I don't want to go in there. Um, Maybe I'll see if Walmart will let me do curbside. They might. It doesn't require refrigeration. I might be able to order just that. But I found the recipe online to make um where is it at? I don't know where it's at, but I found the recipe to make the tangy sauce in the Taco Bell quesadillas. You know, the chicken quesadillas. It's just chicken and cheese, but then it's also got this tangy, slightly spicy sauce in it. I found the recipe to how to make that. It's basically um, mayo, sour cream, um, pickled diced jalapenos, and then some spices, cumin, paprika, chili powder, stuff like that, garlic, onion, salt. I have everything except for the diced jalapenos, but I think I'm going to do those. I think I'm going to get pepperoncinis instead because they're not as hot as jalapenos, and this way it'll be more mild because she doesn't like spicy. But yeah, I found the recipe to make my own quesadilla sauce for the Taco Bell quesadillas, and then I got these big giant 12-inch quesadillas from Walmart. Oh yeah, it should be working now. I had to wait 13 minutes. Add to mobile order. And no customization. Add to order. No thank you. Choose payment. Place order. There we go. Got a number this time. So now I just go to McDonald's. Looks like I can't see my in progress. Oh, there it is. So now I have those two numbers. So I just walk in, I give them those two numbers at the drive-thru, and this one will give me my this one will give me my Big Mac and a soda for $1, and this will give me a large fries for $1. So literally for $2, I have dinner tonight. I have a Big Mac, a large soda, and a large fry for $2. That's hard to beat. I mean, that's really hard to beat. Now I just got to make up some fake stickers to put 64 ounce on the side of my 1 gallon growler. Why is it so big? It's insulated. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Just the cost of the creamer that you would put in an iced coffee that's 1 gallon in size would exceed what you're paying for the membership. I mean, the creamer is $3.50 a bottle, and you're going to use about a third of a bottle in one that big. So you get $1 worth of creamer. Wow. But man, you drink that much iced coffee, you're going to have the shits. Oh man, are you going to have the shits. Coffee's a diuretic. It makes you have to go. You got to pee, and it softens your stool. Yeah, that's. I think I'm going to try that. Since I can use my own container. Oh, man. It's too bad it's one use per day. I wish it was 30 uses. So if I could use it 2 or 3 times in one day, then I could just fill up, some, half-gallon, growlers. They're insulated. They'll keep things cold for a full 24 hours. Put them in the fridge even longer. And go there, fill up 3 of them. And I wouldn't have to come back for 3 days. And so for 60 cents, I'd get, almost 3 gallons. Oh, man. That's evil. That's truly evil. Hey, Michelle! Yeah, these murder mitten little beasts are hungry. You know it's 2:30, right? You know it's 2:30, right? Even Nosey's meowing at me. Poor thing is so hungry. Well, Pygar said hi, so you had to be embarrassed. I love the kitties. He's a good kitty. Yes, he is. He's a good kitty cat. Yeah. Yeah, you're a good kitty cat. Yeah. Um, the filament dryer, the Southern filament dryer works well. It works surprisingly well. The only thing I don't like is that it defaults to only running for a couple of hours, and every time you turn it on, you got to turn up the hours to run full time. I wish it would just run as long as it's plugged in. I wish there was a mode I could put it in where if it's plugged in, keep running. If I want to run it for a day, I want to run it for a day. Besides that, those things are pretty cool. They actually do work. And the new models put out more heat than the old models, because the old models were but these new ones, they work pretty good. And with a little bit of 3D printing, you could put an adapter and a PTFE tube on the top. You drill a hole, put a little adapter in there, and you could hook a PTFE tube right to your printer. And so you could be in a dry environment all the way to the nozzle. And you could run it all the way into your printer right from the filament dryer. So that's something you can do as well. That's especially handy for nylon. Yeah, but I don't like the position of the hole. The position of the hole is a little... The filament has to make a nice bend to get around that hole where they put it. I have it down there, actually. So, here's your filament dryer, and the hole comes out here. And I would rather the hole come out up here. This way it's a smooth transition off the roll right out the hole instead of the filament having to do this to get out the hole. Probably not a big deal, especially if it's going through a PTFE tube, but I would just prefer it. And it's not too hard to fix. You just hot glue a PTFE tube in there and you're good. And then you run that PTFE to your feeder, and now you're completely enclosed all the way to the nozzle. Because now for things like PLA and PETG, you really don't need to do that. But for filaments like polycarbonate, nylon, they could actually absorb moisture from the air so quickly that the filament could re-moisturize itself while you're printing. So like if you were printing a 3 or 4 hour print, halfway through the print, your print might start looking icky again because the filament had already absorbed moisture from the air. So for truly hygroscopic filaments like nylon, PC, stuff like that, it's nice to go, especially if it's humid. It's nice to have a complete environmental control all the way to the nozzle. I mean, you're technically you're not sealed even inside that PTFE tube, but the sealing is good enough. You're restricting the surface area access to atmosphere, and that's usually good enough. That's usually more than enough to not have a problem with printing. So because nylon is nice. I mean, if I could afford it, I would only print in nylon. I mean, that stuff is, it's baller strong, it's baller tough. I mean, you could beat the living snot out of anything nylon. 4 IJN aircraft carriers at the Battle of Midway printable. Oh, cool. Are you designing these, or did you find these models somewhere? Because something I want to try to do is I want to start printing lawn art. I want to start printing things so big that I will put them outside my yard. The problem is that means I have to print ASA. Send me a link to the one on Thingiverse. I like to see that. Aircraft carriers are cool. But I'd like to start printing, stuff big enough where I stick it outside. Because I got enough property, so why not? But the problem is you can't use PLA. I live at 7,000 feet in the southwestern U.S. in New Mexico. Even PLA it could be 70 degrees out and the PLA will still warp because our heat doesn't come from ambient heat. Our heat comes from radiation. The actual, you feel the sun on your face. That's radiation. You're feeling that's direct radiative heat from the sun itself, and that is so strong here that the heat itself hitting the plastic will heat the plastic up enough for it to deform. Unless you print everything white. It's not letting you post links. So give me the thing number. Adding details, the cool part. Make sure you post a remix so other people can play with it. But give me the thing number because I'm assuming you had a link in there and it's not there. What I tell people to do is just post something like this. So if you post that or just a number. That's a funky looking skull mask. Post just a number without a URL, so no URL. You understand? It doesn't delete your link; it deletes your entire message. So yeah, there you go. That worked. So if you have the link and the number in the same message, they're both gone. That did not work. Why? Why did it add these extra characters? That was weird. For anybody else who wants to look at it, there we go. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Oh, something to do with when I copied it. There was some hidden Unicode in my copy, and so the browser processed the Unicode and added the characters. That's cool. Let me know when you post the remix. The printable version. Because aircraft carriers are cool. Ooh, no, I want that. I'm going to order that. Oh, wow. All sunk in the same battle, huh? Alrighty, guys. I will see you next week. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the Patreon. I appreciate that. Don't forget, whenever you want to shop on one of those sites, hit up Nerisse.com and click on the links to those sites, and then I get a commission when you do that. And that is how I make my money. So I will see you guys later. We're going to go get some McDonald's. Yeah.